well with the team. A lot of receivers stepping up. Tarvert has always been a leader on the offense, but also we're having Jordan Nathan really step up. Jaron Colson Green and Dax is finally back. I've only played one game with him in 2 years, so I'm excited that he's back. A lot of new old linemen that have came and made big strides. But I think this year, we're taking it personal this year. We're not happy with the 3-9 record that we had last year, and we got to come back and we got to change it. That's not the culture of the brotherhood, things like that we have here. So we're gonna have to change something, and the coaches don't have to motivate us. That's just what we want to do. So we're confident that we can compete in this conference. It's gonna be some tough games, but we will hang in there and we will win a lot of games. And I'm confident that we'll make it to the Mountain West Championship this year.
So being quarterback and having, so much turnover on the offensive line, does that worry you that you're not going to get the protection you need, or do you have confidence in these guys that, because you've got to know them by now?
I have confidence, I have confidence in all my guys, and I think the coaches have confidence in them for them to be in the role that they have as a starting guy, to really come in and not have any experience here at Utah State. But, I'm very confident. I've gotten really familiar with a lot of them. And, we're working together this summer, and, I'm ready for fall camp to see what they can do in pads, but I'm sure they're going to do amazing this fall camp and this season.
From what Coach Wells has said, have you got an inkling of how practices might be different this fall?
I know that, we can't have two-a-days, but I'm sure we're going to have a long run through or something like that. But, I'm just really, just going out there and just prepare for anything. I don't really know what's going to happen or how practice really will be, but, we're prepared for it and we're ready to get after it.
As a senior, what do you work on, or what are you trying to improve on?
First, my leadership. I think it just starts with that. That's the main thing, because without leaders on the team, you can have the most talented team in the world, but if you don't have leaders to kind of motivate your guys and keep everything up to par, then your team can, break down. And last year, I was a leader as well, and I think we have some pretty good leaders, but I think that we can always improve on something. I think that's one of them. We went 3-9. I think that if we would have said something a little bit sooner, it's always the what ifs. Our season would have turned around, especially with the number of close games that we had. So hopefully we can change that this year.
You mentioned the targets. You mentioned the targets you have to throw to. A lot of guys returning some big targets to throw to this year. But what about the running backs? A lot of these guys are back too, and you're in the backfield together. Just their development and what you've noticed.
There's a lot to say about them. We have Tony Lindsay, Lawan Hunt, and Justin Hervey, 3 running backs that can start in any program. And it's hard for us to have 3 running backs, but I think we're gonna make it happen. I think they show the ability, and they've showed stuff over the summer that they will somehow get on the field if it's at running back, kickoff return or whatever. But a lot of people will get a lot of time at running back. But just with that, they've been working hard. Doing a lot of good pass blocking. I think that's the major thing that we had to improve on. I think they've done well with that this summer. But with that, like I said, they all have something that they're good at, and I think that will really help us.
James, is your leadership style more talking to someone on the sidelines during a game to improve on something, or is it maybe like privately at a different moment finding them and talking to them?
I'm not the most vocal guy, but I feel like I show my leadership on and off the field, as in just the things, how I carry myself. That's just how I was raised, and I just think with that, everybody is coached differently. Everybody takes things differently. So I feel like I've gotten to know a lot of our teammates, and I know how people react. Some people like you being in their face and telling them that. Some people like you, kind of pulling them aside and saying it, because they'll feel embarrassed or something like that. So I feel like I've gotten familiar with all my teammates where I know how to come at them and approach them in that way.
Can we talk a little bit about Coach Yost and what he brings to the table, not just with X's and O's, but like his personality, what makes him the right guy for the job?
I think Coach Yost is the right man for the job, just because he's a family guy. He told us this summer, kind of enjoy. We've been in here grinding this entire summer and the spring, but kind of enjoy your time away from football for a little bit so we can be fresh when we come. And just with that, I think that he's a laid-back coach, and I think that's how we all like to be coached, as in he won't yell at us right then and there, but he's like, hey, come aside, and he'll talk to us. Or when we go watch film, he'll critique us in that way. And I think that's what really makes him best for the job, because just like I said about my leadership, he knows how to approach people. He knows how he's seen how I react to certain things, how DJ and Jordan, how all the quarterbacks, we all, take things differently. And I think that he's really good at that with the entire team.
Are you expecting any differences as far as how much you run, deep passing, short passes, anything like that? What are the differences?
I think last year in the past we've been doing a lot of sideways passes, not really getting up the field as often as we want. But I think we're gonna spread the field out and also go vertical a lot. So with that, I think I know that we're gonna score a lot of points, and that's just how the offense is made, is for us to get a lot of yards and a lot of points. So really with that, how we prepare and how for you to lose is kind of you beating yourself. We're playing ourselves. Like, nobody's gonna stop us but ourselves, is what I'm trying to say. So with that, we gotta go out there. I gotta complete the ball. They gotta catch it. So everything's there for us. So it's just how we go out there and play our game.
Coach Wells talked about how there will still be, you obviously have the most experience, more starts than anybody else, but there will still be some competition with the quarterback position. So what do you feel like you need to do to make sure you ensure you remain the starter and the leader for the offense?
It's always competition. I think at every position, nobody's safe. For the best guys in the league right now, I think they still got to compete for their spot, and that's kind of how it is. Because when you don't have that competitive nature, you kind of become complacent, kind of try to get by. But I think with the competition, he's telling me that, and he's telling everybody that, for me to push myself. But for me personally, I'm gonna be who I am, who I've always been. I'm in no competition with anybody but myself. That's the main thing. So I know what I got to do to get myself better. And like I said, I've been working hard this summer because I worked hard last summer, but it didn't go as planned as a team and for my personal goals. And so, I'm taking this year personal. So everything that I've done, is gonna come out to show. So I think that's it.
Anything else for Kent? Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.